Hi y'all. Alright, so today we're going to be doing Fill Your Freezer Friday, week 4, and I'm doing pepper steak and barbacoa. But first I had a question about the steak bites, and so I'm going to answer that and then get started. The question was about adding liquid to the steak bites. So one thing, like on all of these call for broth, and I most likely will not add any broth to most of my recipes that are going to get frozen. And the main reason is, and y'all saw it last week with all my bloopers, the hole in the bag, and all I did was have it in the freezer for 1 or 2 days, just stuck in there, and somehow ended up with a hole in it. And because I did the chicken with the Asian pork loin ingredients, I had that big mess. So I have found that one, it takes up less room if you don't add the broth, the liquids like that. And two, if I do get a hole in it, I don't have to worry about it. Right now in my back freezer or fridge, I have my tote that has some liquid that came out of my butter chicken, which is got to definitely, I always wash it, but I don't like it when it gets full of meat juices. I don't like that at all. So I just prefer not to add the liquid. And two, unlike the steak bites, if you still wanted to do a little sear on the outside of the steak bites, you can. If you add the liquid, you really aren't going to be able to do much of a sear, especially if you dump the bag. And then also, you can decide if you want to make more of a gravy, like if you wanted to serve it over mashed vegetables and you wanted to make a gravy, I would add a little bit of xanthan gum or glucose, whichever one you can handle. Personally, I have, I guess, a sensitive stomach or something, and the glucose is not for me. I cannot really handle glucomannan, but xanthan gum I can, and you only need a little bit. So for the steak bites, if you wanted to have a gravy and serve it over mashed vegetables, I would do a little bit of the thickening agent and whisk it, and then wait a little bit and whisk it, and if you needed more, then add a little bit more, because you can go from thin to really thick real quick. So you can decide how much broth or liquid you want to add to the steak bites and really any recipe. So we're going to start with the pepper steak, and I call for a half a cup of beef broth, but I'm not going to add it. And two, I didn't want a soup. I just wanted a nice liquid that when everything cooked down, that if I served it over some sort of rice, I would have a flavorful sauce to put on top of rice. So it's up to you. All right, so, and oh shoot, I forgot my garlic. I'm gonna have to go get my garlic. Dang it. So I'm gonna get my garlic real quick, and hopefully I do not have a mess like I did last week. I knew I forgot to get some. Be right back. You can look at my daughter's beautiful dog that's on the floor. And all the trash and junk. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so the garlic. Okay, so the pepper steak, if you watch the video, you know some substitutions I gave you for the beef, or the meat, different types of meat. I did the sirloin steaks because they were on sale. I've trimmed it. I used a scale to try to get these as close to 2 pounds as possible, because once you start trimming the meat, you're losing weight. So these bags are between 114 and 115, so it's so close to 2 pounds. Okay. Also, if you're going to be reusing spoons, don't start with the garlic. All right, so let's see. It says pepper steak. The pepper steak is 1 cup of beef broth. Again, if you want it thicker, at the end, I would just whisk in a little bit of thickening agent. Xanthan gum is my preferred choice, or glucose. All right, so I'm not adding the broth, but I will do rags. I bought another one. I ran to the store today and got another one. It's about a half a cup per bag. Bounced out. All right. And then one more. And then about 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, because I can't say it right. I've even watched tutorials on how to say it. I think some Scottish guy was on a thing telling you how to say it, and I've already forgotten how to say it. About 2 tablespoons. And when I get to my barbacoa, that's going to take a second because I had to freeze it since I'm buying the meat early in the week with what's on sale, so I can have my plan for Tuesday. Sometimes the meat has to be frozen before I can start. A tablespoon of swerve, so I don't want to reuse a garlic, so I'm going to make sure I have a fresh spoon. Although I haven't done anything with that garlic yet. Okay. And I did a really intense Shanti arm workout today, and my arms are so sore. Gotta have to text my friend and tell her. Just picking up my water thing today, I could feel it. Ugh. Okay. So a tablespoon of brown swerve. Oh gosh, it hurts. If you don't have brown swerve, you just have like Gentle Sweet or a different sweetener. I just, anything that we call for brown sugar, brown swerve is the best substitute in my opinion. And I really like brown swerve over the other sweeteners, so it's also a personal preference. A tablespoon of minced garlic, all right. And I don't salt anything like this. I either let everybody salt it themselves or do a little salt at the end, a little tasting. Gosh, my arm hurts. But that's just because Bragg's or soy sauce is so salty. I don't want to oversalt, and I've oversalted a couple times over the past few weeks. So I don't want to oversalt. All right, and then ginger. I was so upset. I went to Walmart to get ginger because I was out. The refrigerated section was completely out of all the ginger, and I was thinking I was going to have to either use brown ginger, which is a great substitute, or find the time to come home and grate it myself. But luckily I found this one, and this was not in the refrigerated section. It was near the minced garlic. I didn't know this even existed. I just went to my Walmart app and it told me that they had another one in my store. So this is about a tablespoon or half a tablespoon. My recipe says half a tablespoon of ginger. I'm not going to be that accurate. I'm just going to, that looks good. That's a little much. Okay. And then I think this one might call for pepper. Golly, my bicep hurts. Okay, and then a half a teaspoon of pepper. Now, if you're not doing it like me, I would add your meat last. I would do this first, squish everything around, and you can add broth if you want. That is entirely up to you. I will add broth the day I cook it. Again, for personal reasons, I don't want things to make a big mess, and I don't want to just come out of the bag if there's a hole in it, and I've had holes in a lot of my bags. And then finally, again, use fresh if you want. You don't have to use this. This is what I'm going to be using to make my life easier and this faster. I'm going to use about a half a bag per bag. So I've got 2 here, and what I do is if my local store has these on sale, I go ahead and I buy some, and these are some that I bought from a previous sale. And again, if you like, if you want to use this, but you really want the bell peppers to be a bit maybe firmer or something like that, I would maybe just keep this in the freezer and then pull out and do a half a bag about an hour before serving. I don't like bell peppers, and I really want them cooked as much as possible. That's my preference, so I add it right to the bag right now. Okay, that is going to be it. Okay, so I'm going to move these, and I'm going to pull up the barbacoa for the beef, the roast for the barbacoa. Now, I mentioned in the last video that I have a daughter who's moved back home to hopefully save for a house. and does not like cilantro. I do not understand what happened, but she has a gene that makes it taste like soap to her. So I will not add the cilantro at all to this. We will just add it to our own, whatever we do. And I will talk to you for a second about what you can do with the barbacoa, but I'm going to show you again how I get the air out. I've already done it once, and then if necessary, I go like this, and there's a little bit of air here, so I'm going to open the middle, squeeze it again, and then seal it again. Now the barbacoa is a very versatile meat that you can make into tacos, quesadillas, chimichangas, taquitos. I'm sure there are so many things you can do with it. It's so good and easy. I won't say cheap just because it does use roast, and I only use it when I buy roast on sale or make it. If I can't find roast on sale, then I'm not gonna make barbacoa. And my Berkshires will sometimes have this hair it in clearance for like 40% off, but they've been doing 25% off, so I've hardly gotten any meat in the clearance department. Okay, now we're gonna do the barbacoa. Again, it's just drop, 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 or dump. Okay. I have not done meat like this frozen, so hopefully I don't have what happened last week and have so many bloopers in one video. So the roast that was on sale at my local store is like this flat type roast. I'm used to getting like a fat roast, so I take this and like make it into a big, I don't know, oblong football looking thing. I don't know how this is gonna work. If it doesn't work, then what I'll do is I'll just do one bag at a time, which I'll just do one and then in the video so that you don't just watch me do 4 bags. Okay, we'll see if it stands, then we're okay. If it's not gonna stand, then I'm not. I don't want to make a giant mess like I did last time. Okay, it's standing. Now, again, I'm utilizing frozen vegetables because I'm trying to make this as easy as possible on everyone. And you can make use of fresh onions. You could even buy the pre-cut fresh onions in the produce department. I've used those before when I've been in there. Again, the Berkshires. And, okay. And the Berkshires had them on clearance because, again, I just buy these guys when they're on sale. I feel like I probably forgot something. We'll see. I forgot my lime juice. How am I? I'm forgetting. I guess last week was my make all the mistakes, and this week it's forget 2 things. I feel like I'm going to get these set up and they're going to fall around. And the Ziploc really does seal very well. I've struggled getting all of them open today. Okay, one more, please work. Okay, now if you don't have anyone who dislikes cilantro, you can add it to this right here, or if you want, you can put it in a sandwich baggie and add it at the very end. Not the baggie, just what's in the baggie. You can do it that way. Okay, looks like it might work. Okay, I'm gonna go grab the lime juice and we'll get started. It looks like we're in a stock mode this time. All right, so for the barbacoa, again, this one calls for half a cup of beef broth, but I'm not gonna add it in case it does get a hole in it, and then when I thaw it, all the broth just leaks out, so I don't want to do that. All right, so 1 cup of onion. I'm going to, just eyeball a cup into each baggie. And again, if you are not doing this like me, add your meat last. Don't add your meat first. Okay. And a little too much onion goes in, it's okay. I just don't want my food to fall. Oh, brother. Okay, seasoning time. All right, so the recipe originally has 1 tablespoon of salt on there. I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know if I put a tablespoon for a teaspoon. So I'm going to do a teaspoon and then see how it works out. And if it was a tablespoon, then I'll leave it. If it was a teaspoon, I will change it. But I'm just going to do a teaspoon. 3 tablespoons of minced garlic. I do not want to touch this because I do not want them to fall. Oh, so we had, my week has been crazy. And if you've been around for a little while, you know that my daughter is pregnant with number 3. Her original due date was August 23rd, and now it's been moved to August 4th. So it has been a little bit of chaos, just a little bit. And so my week was crazy, and I thought that I had pulled out the pineapple pork. Well, I did. I forgot that because it had so much liquid in it that I put it inside 2 baggies, like grocery store bags, so that if it did leak, hopefully it would contain it. I forgot that I did that, so I didn't realize it was in the back fridge. So we haven't had the pineapple pork yet. So I've got to make sure it's still good, because I'm not gonna feed us, bad meat. So if it is still good, then I will cook it this weekend. If I think it's questionable, then do not fall. I will throw it out and I will thaw another one. Oh brother, sorry. If you just started watching, I am using frozen roasts that are flat, I guess, and I was very worried that they might fall, and this one is starting to lean. I just don't want it to fall. Okay, I just adjusted the position of where the top is with the hook thing, and I think it might work. Okay. But we had the ribs last night. I had a very busy day yesterday, and I cooked them longer than I really wanted to. It was almost completely meats separated from the rib bone in the crock pot, but we all ate it and it was delicious. So the ribs, thumbs up. I sold them at the pineapple pork, but I will update you as soon as I know. And I don't know what I'm pulling out this week, but I will let you know if I get a meal prep video done. I'll show you the meats and stuff that I pull out to give you our review next week. All right. A teaspoon of salt. Again, the recipe calls for a tablespoon, and I'm just cutting back to a teaspoon just in case that was a mistake on my part. Okay. It's been fun to try to get this thing zipped back up and laid properly in the freezer. Chili powder is a tablespoon. I hope I have. I don't think I'm going to have enough. I'll need some. No, this is paprika. This is chili powder. Okay, I will have enough. All right. So a tablespoon of chili powder. And then it's a teaspoon of garlic powder, onion powder, cumin, and paprika, and pepper. I'll do a half a teaspoon of pepper. So, if you watched last week, you saw my complete giant blooper mess of cumin. So this week, I am going to use my teaspoon. That was such a hot mess. I don't think I've done a video. I mean, not that my videos are ever good. There is no perfection when it comes to me or my videos. But last week was a train wreck. Okay, and then the smoked paprika. I don't think I have enough to do a teaspoon. Oh, this is chili powder. If I could keep my seasoning straight. I try to get these off, and they're just so difficult to get off. So I guess I'm just gonna. Today was a bad day to do an arm workout. They hurt. Okay, onion powder, garlic powder. I typically do eyeball, but again, last week was kind of embarrassing, so. And then onion powder. And then did pepper and the lime juice, and that's it. And I really, really hope I can find roast on sale again, because I really want to freezer prep my ragu. That is one of my favorite recipes. It's so good. I love that recipe. I'll do about 3/4 of a teaspoon, or just close to it. And then the lime juice, and that is it. Now, hopefully I can squish these bags enough that I can get the back to lay flat in the freezer. Okay. And again, you can use fresh squeezed lime. I'm just using even generic lime, not even like name brand. It's probably a little bit more than a tablespoon. I'm probably using about 2 tablespoons. It's pretty close. This is 1 lime juice. I don't know how much a whole lime juiced is, so I'm going to add a little bit more. And then that's it. Alright, if you have any thoughts, questions, anything that I made, like I had someone ask about the steak bites and liquid. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Some of these are experiments. Some of these I have frozen something similar before. I think I've frozen something like this before. So again, if you don't have to do your meat first, ideally you wouldn't. You would do it last. And if you wanted to add your broth so you don't have to worry about anything day of, then add your broth with this. I've just had so many bags get little holes in them, and I've even had, like I said before, the reusable ones so that you reduce the amount of plastic that you're throwing away. You get to reuse them. I've used some of those once and somehow got a tear in them, and so it's very frustrating. So if I don't have to add liquid, I try not to. And that is it. Okay, 2 thoughts on cooking time. If you're using a big hunk of meat like this, you cook it longer. If you're using like the sirloin and the pepper steaks, that, gosh, it hurts, a little chunk of meat like this, you cook it, I wouldn't cook it as long. The ribs yesterday, I cooked on high for probably 4 hours, and by the time I got home, the keep warm setting was on. I was gone that long, and I did not overcook. I'm sure you can overcook food in the crock pot, but it just was very soft and tender. And the more you cook meat like this, it's just going to get really tender. And I think next week, we keep having pork chops on sale, so I think next week I'm going to experiment with bacon ranch, some sort of something like that, pork chops. And then with that, it won't be completely dump and go, because I do not add cream or cream cheese to my crock pot in the beginning of cooking something like that, because I do not like the idea of my cream or my dairy to separate or get curdled. That makes me nauseated, so I don't do that. But if you don't mind the possibility of that, then you could add the cream cheese, and if we do cream. So I'm going to experiment on a recipe. I don't know if I'll do it. Hopefully I can get one done this weekend and get it up on my blog. But again, thoughts, questions, or anything, please feel free to ask. And that is it. I'm going to finish sealing all these up, and that's it. Thanks for watching. I got to go put this out before I can turn this off. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or thoughts or anything, post them here or on my page, wherever you want. Bye.